Okay, again, uh, distinguished dignitaries, policymakers, industry leaders, academicians, and friends, we stand here at a powerful intersection in human history. Artificial intelligence is no longer a concept or a word which we are discussing here. It's a part of supply chain, it's a part of public policy, it's a part of education, it's part of every single sector you're looking for. It's not only just part of the automation, it also is something which is influencing public policy, it's influencing the way people work, it's influencing everything else. The speed at which AI is moving forward in the last 2 to 3 years is not been seen before the last 500 years. But one important question arises, that whatever AI does or what kind of intelligence it's trying to produce, can it be trusted? I mean, what is the barometer or the benchmark on which AI can be trusted? Because there is no way we can actually try to compare AI's evolution and the way its development with human beings. It's much faster than that. With this is today's panel, or the topic of the discussion is engineering digital trust in the age of AI, blockchain as the backbone of India's intelligence infrastructure. So with this, we understand that AI without blockchain is not going to work out. It's essential part of the backbone of the infrastructure which is going to be made. Without further ado, I'll call Satya Gupta sir, a telecom veteran. He's a chairman of Blockchain for Prosperity Forum and also professor of practice at South Asian University, to take the forum forward. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Akhil. Actually, Dr. Akhil, we have not introduced. He is the director of Symbiosis Institute of HRD recently. He is one of the recipient of below 35 below 35, then below 40. I mean, he is an example for the youngsters. So thank you, Akhil. Good afternoon, everyone. It's indeed a great pleasure and honor for me to actually curate and chair this session, which is very important. Professor Akhil have already mentioned about the importance of convergence of AI and blockchain actually, and that is what will be discussed here. And as you know, this session have two parts. First, we will have two keynotes actually from the industry experts, one from the academia also, because we are talking about the convergence of AI and blockchain and how it can be monetized also, actually leveraged. So as Akhil have already mentioned, actually because people feel AI can do everything. AI can solve all your problem. And they are half true, of course. I also believe in same thing, and it is almost there. But it also have some gaps. It also have some what we call after effects, actually. It can solve your problem, it can help you, but then there are some after effects. One of the gap which AI creates or AI have is also known as trust. Some people call it ethical issue. Some people say AI cannot be creative. Some of them, they say AI have no empathy. Those are all true, but they are all vague, you can say, excuses of demonizing the AI. But the real thing about AI is it lacks trust. And trust, everything actually lacks trust. And what is required for that? And that is what blockchain brings to the table. Actually, all of you, I assume you know what is blockchain, the distributed ledger technology. We actually, its official definition is, it is called Internet of Value. We, in our forum, have defined it as Internet of Wealth, and that is what you will discuss here. And from my own perspective, I call it Internet of Well-being. It just does not create only value or wealth. Actually, in addition to wealth, it also helps you in wellness, the health part of it, wellness. And also the social part of it, that is called welfare. So wealth, welfare, wellness. That is why I have termed this Internet of Well-being, which includes everything actually. And I was comparing it with, oh, thank you very much. I was comparing it with the World Wide Web 3, WWW3. You know now everything is moving towards WW3. So we are in WW2, 2.0. So they are moving to 3.0. What is the difference between 2.0 and 3.0? Actually, I have analyzed it. The only difference is what W3 does is about the ownership. That is called decentralization, also blockchain. And for this ownership or decentralization, the only technology which can do the job is blockchain. Blockchain swear by decentralization. All its attributes move towards decentralization. And decentralization indirectly takes you to the ownership. So according to me, the definition of worldwide Web 3 is worldwide owned wealth. So you will create a wealth. You are creating a wealth. Even in Web 2 also, all of you are creating to wealth. But who owns that wealth? That is owned by some restricted people, some counted people who are luckily there. They are there in this hall today in the ground floor. So those only. But if you go to World Wide Web 3, which is called a decentralized web, which is leveraged or which is powered by blockchain, then whatever wealth you are creating will actually be your own. You will own. If you create a data, that you own the data. If you create money, you own the money. If you create an app, you own the app. That is the main difference. And that is what we will be talking about, AI and blockchain combination. And before I actually call the other experts here actually, I will like to say, like every day you are reading and debate or jury is out on whether the jobs will be eaten away by AI. Every day there is a debate and it is a totally debatable and there is no clear answer. So they say AI will eat away your white collar job. That is half true, of course. All the jobs will not go away. White collar job, yes. But what I have thought that though AI, you are afraid of losing your job if you are AI guy, if you are a white collared person, AI will take away your job. Though it is half true, but it is a fear. It half true means it may happen or it may be happening. But according to me, what we can do with AI, and even if this may be true, so you have blue collar job, you have white collar job. You will be surprised to know there is a shortage of blue collar job. And Delhi, I was reading a report. The salary of blue collared people is more than the white collared people in Delhi. You know that. So you should not be afraid of losing your AI job, your white collared job. So what AI can be used now? Now that is the power of AI. That is the positive of AI. Your blue collared guys whose job is not at stake, they are more in demand, their salary is very high, they can become more productive. They can still increase their salary further, still remaining blue collared. That is called skilling. They can get skilled in AI, they can do their job, their blue collared job better and earn more money and still remain in demand. As I told, blue collared are in shortage, they will always remain in demand, at least in India, I can guarantee you. In India, blue collared guy is not worried about the job. He will remain always in demand, he can become more efficient, his salary will keep increasing. What about the white collar? Now, so this blue collared guy with AI becomes a hybrid, a blue collar, white collar, he does the job what is lost by the AI guy, that also he can do actually. So now what happens to AI person? If this is true that AI will kill its job, what he should do? According to me, he should get reskilled and upskilled in blockchain. So what it does? Because blockchain is also like a technology, AI is a technology. If you can get skilled in AI, you can get skilled in blockchain. So what is the difference? Still it remains white collar. And that up to there it is true. It's a soft skill, whether it is AI or blockchain. Yes, but what happens in blockchain? if you are converted from AI skilled to blockchain skilled, AI skill is still required, you will be there, but that is not making you actually immune to your job loss. So what will happen there is, so now you create the wealth, you create the value. As AI person also you create the wealth, but that goes to your employer, that goes to your owner. In blockchain actually you can own that. If you create a technology, if you create an app, if you create money, you can own it. That is the magic of decentralization. That is the internet of ownership, what I mentioned actually. And that is the difference between Web 2 and Web 3. Everything else is same. Nothing is going to change in Web 3. Everything is there what you can imagine in Web 2, except the centralization versus decentralization. So that is what happens. So I have coined a term for these soft-collared person who is afraid of their job. I have started calling them gold-collared. They will actually become gold-collared provided they adapt the blockchain as a technology. They learn the concept of technology. You don't have to be an engineer for that. Actually, even a 10+2, even a dropout can learn how the blockchain works, how they can make use of blockchain. And AI thing, of course, they will need. So that is called, instead of job seeker, you become job giver. The Prime Minister also yesterday, he was talking about the trust is the new currency. He was talking new currency, trust. And the trust is brought by the blockchain actually. It is not only the trust. Blockchain brings three things to the table. Trust, of course, is very, very important. Why it is very, very important? Because we are lacking. All our technologies are lacking trust. That is why we talk about zero trust. We talk about cyber security test and all that. Because we don't trust. That is why. So if blockchain is used, your trust comes there. It builds in. Actually, its name itself is. Some people call it Internet of Trust. I call it Internet of Well-being. People call it Internet of Trust also. It brings not only trust, but also the transparency, also the traceability. There are so many things which conventional technology or AI or whatever you call them, they are unable to actually deliver. But blockchain does that, like traceability, WhatsApp message, fake news. We are struggling, spam calls. You use blockchain, solution is there for all these things actually. That is the message I wanted to bring actually. And of course, I am very sorry I have taken more time, and it is the time for me to invite our experts, actually two of them. First, I like to invite my own colleague, Dr. Parveen Mishra. He is an adjunct professor of practice in my university where I also teach, South Asian University, a university established by 8 nations, headed by India. This is the only international university of the world which is owned by 8 nations, and it is a government university. Only government university in India which is also international university, government university, and only university of the world owned by 8 nations. And that is why I decided I should circulate my brochure to you so that you know about this. And Dr. Mishra had the ICT there, and you will see his presentation. In addition, I'll also like to invite our other friend, actually, our Mr. Utsav from the DigiMaya, a very important name actually, DigiMaya. I like your name. Yeah. Please have your seat actually. Yeah.
It will be Maya when all the Maya becomes digital.
Yeah, all the Maya digital but decentralized. If it is Maya, I want to distribute to all of them. You should not keep it. Actually, today your DigiMaya or anybody, means I am just joking, the Maya belongs to you because you have founded DigiMaya, because you are in Web 2. But if your employee becomes the owner also, they become intrapreneur, what I call. So then they will also share that Maya. That is the message I thought is relevant for today's topic. So you will be talking about, of course, AI powering the fintech, a new fintech, because whosoever, 99% of people of our country, when I talk blockchain, they say, oh, it is Bitcoin. So they don't know the difference between Bitcoin and blockchain. That is true. Otherwise, also, most of the real applications of blockchain are in the finance. And that is why we have specially invited him, and he has very kindly agreed to support us also this session. And you will listen from him. For 10 minutes, he will make a presentation, and for 5 minutes, there will be a fire side chat actually, where our other colleague of blockchain forum will be doing that. So to start with, can I invite Dr. Parveen? So you can make a presentation if you have, yeah. But for 10 minutes, Dr. Parveen.
So by the time I think they display the presentation, being from the academic background, I would say that the foundation of any technology is education. So when you have any research or anything happening, the foundation is laid by education. So going for artificial intelligence itself, it is something which is not a very, very new topic, although we are discussing it here. It's not something that is new. This technology has evolved over decades. So just going into the background of AI, if you can see that it was a background that was laid in a very, very, I would say 3100 BC was when the groundworks were laid. So then we had the phase where you had Alan Turing creating the Turing test, which probably most of us must have still be using it. So, and then in 1956 itself, John McCarthy coined the term artificial intelligence. So you can imagine, even if you talk about the word itself, artificial intelligence, it has been in existence for almost like 75 years now. And then you had Eliza, which was one of the earliest chatbots that we had way back in 1966. And the first robot capable reasoning and action in 1969. 80s, in the 70s there was a slowdown, so there wasn't much what you call progress on the artificial intelligence front. The reason being that the hardwares or the processors were not up to the mark to be taking care of the intelligence that we desired from a technology. So that is why in 1970s there wasn't much progress, and then we moved on to the 1980s where you had rule-based AI. So there were softwares that were made to perform as per some rules. So it was a partial intelligence, I would say, to that extent. And then in the 1990s was the real breakthrough when we started with the, we had processors, we had processing powers, we had other hardwares to support. The internet had evolved to that, the networking had evolved to that extent, and so we were able to capitalize, and the development of true artificial intelligence started from there. Deep learning and other aspects came into play. So 2010 onwards was a real AI revolution that happened when we had AI models, language models, LLMs, and all types of softwares getting made. We had a lot of sensors coming up, so that there was a lot of data that got accumulated. And in the meantime, the processing power kept on increasing. So that was the phase what we see today. We are standing here seeing an AI revolution which has matured to a level where we are now talking in real terms of using AI. Not only talking about real terms, in real terms of using AI and using it to some extent, but also looking at that whether AI has pitfalls into it. So the technology has matured to those levels. Now, coming back to, since I would be more delivering on the advantages of AI in educational system, what can be done to make educational systems grow better, or probably the educational system should be able to cater to one and all. Internet, when it evolved, it was meant for reaching to every person, and that is what is the basics educational system that we have, that the education should be able to reach each and every person on the earth. And that is why AI plays a major role in that, overcoming many of the bottlenecks that are there. So if I see it is going to be a scalable and affordable access to high quality learning. We have, even in the villages, rural areas, if you see, we have a lot of people who may be having books, but you may not be having the mentors or the teachers skilled enough to be taking care of teaching those students. The students are, every student is a bright student, but how he is mentored has a big impact on how he performs in life. So AI, to that extent, would be able to cater to the quality of education that is that can be delivered to a person in, you can say, urban area. The same quality could be delivered into rural areas with the type of intelligence and material it can generate. Personal and adaptive learning. Now, we have a lot of people who can understand less. There are disabled people who may have problems with access or understanding. We may have language barriers coming in play, or we may have what you call cultural issues that may have an impact on a person's learning. AI, for that reason, would be able to, I would say, minimize that gap or probably overcome that gap. To just give you an example, that there is a festival that probably is across the country when we celebrate the end of harvesting season or something. That same festival is called with different names in different parts of the country. So if you give an example, if you are giving a translation, I'm talking from an AI and a non-AI perspective. If I translate something, so if Holi is celebrated in, or Vaisakhi is celebrated in northern India, the same word will go if I talk about translating it into a language in Kerala. So although they have Pongal of their own, so probably AI to that extent would be able to localize the content in the real terms rather than using just a simple translation to that extent. So that is something which is not possible today, but with AI in place, it will be an intelligent translation. It would not be just a simple translation from one language to the other. Then coming back to the skill sets, a person may be able to understand with his IQ levels being high, he would be able to understand in a much faster way, but there would be other people who may have, may have understanding difficulties. So there is where AI would be able to map their IQ or skill levels and probably provide them a customized solution after assessing their skill levels, and would be able to bring it, provide them a mentoring which would help them come at par with the brightest of students. So this is something which is again going to be a landmark achievement if, as we move forward on that. And I think that itself would reduce the disparities in infrastructure, language, and socio-economic access. So internet has already brought a lot of online things in place. So access at remote places, or I would say access has become borderless to that extent. But AI topping onto it would really be able to localize the content into in a real manner to be delivered to students across nations, across boundaries. So AI translation for multilingual education at a scale, and real-time subtitles and lectures. So we already see a lot of real-time subtitles and lecture. Most online platforms already do today, and they are all AI-based. Localized content for inclusion of non-English, localized content for inclusion of non-English learners. So I think I have already said that. Text-to-speech and speech-to-text for inclusive learning environments. Adaptive tools for neurodiverse learners. So it can judge and it can probably provide you a much customized solution for people with different types of disabilities. Lab is something which is a very, very important thing which AI would be able to provide. Today, labs is a costly affair. So if you see in many of the rural areas or probably even in underdeveloped countries and in such places, probably you will not be able, the cost itself is a deterrent for labs to be set up. So the students that are exposed to the lab and practical environment there is much less than what a person or a student in a good city would be able to get with best of labs. So AI for that reason with its simulation technologies would be able to deliver a real-time lab which will also take care of your environmental constraints that we have. So in a chemistry lab, probably you want to mix two chemicals, you can just mix those chemicals and the results comes out. So same thing can be visualized by students in a simulated lab using AI. Intelligent sighting, mapping and trend analysis. So that is something which based on the enormous data, a lot of analysis and all is happening, but humans have a limitation in the sense that probably our processing power is not to that extent, and that is something where AI and other things would be able to quickly give us results and would help us to be able to take corrective actions on those things. And enhanced productivity in interdisciplinary research and collaboration on climate, health, cybersecurity, and sustainability challenges. So, oh, this screen is not working. Building equitable knowledge infrastructure. So AI-powered digital libraries can definitely improve access to academic resources. Semantic search enables better knowledge and discovery and reuse. Automated indexing and meta generation improves repository. We have a lot of these things already in place without AI. But as we go along, AI would be able to do it in a much, much better integrated fashion of indexing, interdisciplinary sharing of the data. That all would be able to have a larger impact on and accuracy on the way we use much of the data or material that we have with us. Regional research group output gain visibility in global academic networks. So that is something that is there. Then strengthen intellectual sovereignty through regional repositories and support indigenous and local knowledge integration into global discourse. I think, no, I think they have some issues. Anyhow, I think probably AI had disrupted the presentation itself. If it doesn't come back in 30 seconds, let's stop it there. Doesn't come here, but probably. So. So, as we move forward, in any technology, there are challenges that would be there, and we need to be finding solutions to it. So, digital divide, unequal infrastructure and connectivity. So, probably the haves and haves not that has been in there for such a long time. AI also has the same challenges that are there, and since AI has been adapted by a few companies in the initial phases, they are much ahead of many other players in the market, including research institutes and all that. So what is the way out? So development of open standards and interoperability to support regional collaboration. So it should not be a domain of a specific region or country. It should be the domain of everyone to be able to use AI in a good manner or effective manner, I would say. Algorithm-based thing. So if I create an algorithm which is biased to certain parameters, I will always get results which are biased. We have been seeing these things in social media and other places where some of these algorithms helps probably bias the contents in certain ways. The same way, AI also has such bottlenecks which needs to be taken care of. So bias and discrimination risk will always be there and must be addressed proactively. Academic integrity, risk from generative AI misuse. So a lot of research papers, books, journals, anything could be generated with AI, chat GPT and all, we do a lot of these things. So how do we take care of that? That's something of a challenge that is in place that we have today. And for that, what we need is a strong data privacy and governance framework. So that is something that is very, very important. And over-dependence on external platforms without sovereign control. So transparent and accountable AI model for education needs to be developed and should be in place. And it should be globally acceptable. Because AI, or today what we talk about digital era, is across borders. So any regulations that you make for a region would always have the disadvantage that probably people would be able to overcome it in other regions and would be able to misuse the platform. So why I am saying all these things is because if many of you may have seen 2-3 days back, there was an article in one of the newspapers, a statement by Tim Berners-Lee, the founder of World Wide Web, and he said, and I quote that, AI is becoming more powerful than its creators. So why it is happening that way? Although we say that AI would never be able to overcome a human being, but with these types of misuses or probably biases that are there, the risk of AI, as in any technology, being misused or being used against humans is something that cannot be ruled out. And so we have to be cautious about such things. Not coming. So coming back to what we do at South Asian University, which I represent. So we are an international university set up by 8 SAARC nations and have a beautiful campus based out of Delhi, and which is having students from all countries, all regions. And so there's an amalgamation of global South that we see here, there. So it's a cultural as well as a knowledge sharing platform that we have built out there. It's a modern, smart, secure and robust infrastructure, providing catalyst for innovation and research. Partnering with government and academic institutions and industry. So that's something which we actively do both on technological front as well as on other labs and other things that we have. We have well-equipped state-of-the-art labs, captive and co-location data centers. So we have one of the biggest data centers, if you say, from an academic perspective in Delhi. And we are coming out with auditoriums which are about 600 plus capacities, many lecture halls and all of about 180, 200 seat capacity. So a lot of activities are going on there. And the best part I can tell you is, because we all talk about sustainability. So we are moving towards a net zero. So whatever is the consumptions that we do, in terms of water, in terms of electricity, we are trying to see that we become a net zero player today, a campus which is net zero. So on the sustainability front, that is something of a big focus area of the management of our university that we have. Yes. Now, talking about, since this is a topic more related to AI and blockchain, so we are developing a ERP for academic institutions for our captive use initially, but it could be used for other this thing. So for students, it will be an application to degree thing. So probably once he registers, he's an applicant, till the time he moves out, everything is going to be paperless. That's one part. Same is the case with employees. Residential management and everything cashless. So we have our smart cards and everything in place. And we have digital library, I would say. So we have a huge library which is having books as well as digital library. On the AI front, we are in the process of developing an proctored examination which will be based on AI. Same is the case with attendance. So facial recognition, the attendance should be all based on AI. Since trust is something that is very, very important for an institution, since you have the academic qualifications and all that is used by the students as they grow. So blockchain is being used there for the certificates and mark sheets that are being developed. So once you even pass out, the person who wants to verify your this thing doesn't need to be coming back to the university or probably doing it. So anywhere in the world, he should be able to do that. And it is a trusted platform based on blockchain that is being developed. QR-based smart digital cards for cashless in campus. So we have our own card system that is coming up, which is again smart cashless card system. Yes, just 1 minute. So some of the research and innovation domain in AI, quantum, cybersecurity, climate modeling, and sustainability research. So just I'm skipping that for this thing. We are coming out with an AI infrastructure based on GPU and HPC, AI and other things. So what is our strategic vision? So we want to create a South Asian regional knowledge corridor, a shared AI-enabled education platform across universities, cross-border micro-credentials and joint certification frameworks, and AI-driven innovation ecosystem linking academia, industry, and society. So just to end this presentation, artificial intelligence is a facilitator and not a competitor. So it will never compete with, so the apprehension that jobs will be lost or probably means AI would be able to overcome humans, it can only act as a facilitator to a human being. It cannot be a tool in itself. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Dr. Parveen. I'm very sorry we have to stop you because time is running out. Now, without much ado, we will invite our other keynote speaker and expert, Mr. Utsav Dar. He is the founder of DigiMaya. He already mentioned to you. He will tell us what is this DigiMaya and how AI and blockchain is helping there and what is there in it for all of us. Yeah, Mr. Utsav.
Can I get the volume for the video, please? Guys, we'll keep it short. This is an impact, session on AI, so we'll keep it really impactful. But can I have the audio? Yeah? Audio a little loud, guys. Come on. Hello? Welcome to Digital India. एक बार डिजिटल इंडिया के लिए ताली, ऑडियो नहीं चल रहा है. Till the video, they're just coming around it. Can we just start over? Can we start over? Yeah, thanks. Okay guys, since we are at AI Impact Summit Bharat, I'd like you all to join me in saying Bharat Mata Ki. एक और बार करते हैं, भारत माता की, भारत माता की. Very good. My name is Utsav Dar and I am the CEO of Digimaya, and I'll be speaking today about AI in new age finance. Let me begin with something bold. The global financial system is not broken. It's outdated. It was built for paper files, for physical signatures, for quarterly reviews, for a slower world. But we no longer live in that slow world. Money moves in milliseconds, innovation moves in hours, and risk evolves in seconds. And yet, many financial systems still think in weeks. That is not inefficiency, that is vulnerability. Now let me ask you guys something. How many of you transferred money in the last 24 hours? Almost everyone. Now imagine if that transfer took 3 days. Imagine if your payment was under review. Imagine if growth had to keep waiting for paperwork. And frankly, this is not ancient history, this was our system. However, the world has changed. Finance did not change fast enough yet. And when systems move slower than ambition, opportunity dies quietly. Let me tell you a story. Years ago, I met a small business owner. Profitable, disciplined, ambitious. He applied for growth capital. He was rejected. Not because he lacked revenue, not because he lacked demand, but because he lacked the right format of documentation. The system could not see him. And when systems cannot see potential, economies lose momentum. How many entrepreneurs in India are invisible to these outdated risk filters? We have over 60 million MSMEs powering this country, yet access to structured capital remains uneven. Globally, 1.4 billion adults remain unbanked. Financial frauds drain $500 billion annually, while trillions move across borders with friction and inefficiency. This is not capital shortage. This is intelligence shortage. For decades, finance has relied on static data. Past performance, quarterly reviews, manual compliance. But the future cannot be built on yesterday's logic. And that's where artificial intelligence changes everything. AI allows systems to learn, to adapt, to predict. AI trusts, and AI turns finance from reactive to proactive. Imagine credit models powered by real-time behavioral data. Imagine compliance systems that flag risks before violations occur. Imagine fraud engines that evolve faster than fraudsters. And imagine digital assets settling in minutes while AI optimizes liquidity automatically. This is not acceleration, this is transformation. But here is the deeper shift. AI in finance is not about making banks faster. It is about redesigning the architecture of trust. Trust used to be institutional, then it became digital, now it must become intelligent. And intelligent systems do not guess, they calculate. Now let's bring this home. India. We process billions of real-time digital transactions every month. We build digital identity at population scale. Additionally, we have one of the strongest AI talent ecosystems globally. India does not need permission to lead AI. India needs conviction. If not now, when? If not India, who? The India AI mission is not just about innovation. It is about sovereignty. Because the next financial superpowers will not be those who store capital. They will be those who design intelligence. Once India embeds AI into the MSME lending, compliance infrastructure, digital asset regulation, legacy system treasuries, we won't just improve efficiency. We would define standards. And nations that define standards shape the world. At Digimaya, we believe this, and this is what drives us every day. As we build a financial super application in new age finance, where we build with blockchain, and that gives us transparency, and AI gives us intelligence. Together, they create adaptive financial systems that will benefit millions to billions of users in the near future. Systems that reduce friction, reduce fraud, reduce bias, but more importantly, increase opportunity. Let me get back to that small business owner. In an AI-native financial system, he would not be invisible. His real-time behavior would matter. His consistency would matter. His trajectory would matter. He would not be filtered out by outdated templates. He would be recognized. And when recognition replaces rejection, nations grow faster. AI finance is not about replacing people, it's about removing barriers. It's about moving from exclusion to inclusion, from delay to real time, from assumption to intelligence. And here is the truth. The future of finance will not belong to those who hold the most capital. It will belong to those who build the most intelligent systems. And if we build those systems here in India with scale, with ethics, with responsibility, finance will stop being a gatekeeper. It will become an accelerator for national growth. The future of finance is not just digital, it is intelligent. And the future of intelligent finance can and should be Indian. Because when India builds intelligence into finance, we do not just move money, we move momentum, we move markets, we move billions into opportunity, and that, my friends, is true leadership. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Utsav. Yeah, great ideas you have given. And now, of course, we are running really out of time. Maybe 5 minutes, Garima, can you have a fireside chat? Dr. Parveen, I think you can take a seat there in the audience. And just 5 minutes, and then we have to come back for the panel, which will be the most interesting part of today's session. Yeah, mic. Those mics.
So how do you frame DG Maya with the Indian government ecosystem, and how do you align with the policy and compliance? As you told, you're working on a virtual digital asset, so a lot of compliance and like regulatory framework is not still available in India. And how you're framing the global market, and what kind of audience you're targeting, how you comply with the government mainly. This is the first question to you.
So the government will need to adopt to innovation. Short and simple. We guys create cutting edge tech. We build the products. When Airbnb was launched, it was not regulated. When Uber was launched, it was not regulated. When we build ecosystems for billions and billions of people, when we build robust platforms in the space in emerging technology, the innovators chase the regulators, and then the regulators define the best practices, and typically what's been seen is it moves from the west to the east. Let's try and change that. If there are some regulators in the house, hello, you may come and meet us industry experts as well.
That is a great innovation idea. So there's a two approach. One is a we can say policy by design approach, and the second is a compliance by requirement. So which approach you follow in DG Maya, and how you suggest the government to come with a proper compliance?
So we are 100% centralized. What that means is that whatever the law of the land is, we comply with that law of land. We are a global platform, so it is not just India-centric in that sense. However, whatever laws of the land are in India, for example, databases need to be maintained here, the licenses need to be acquired from the country, the regulators need to be, given all the KYC-related information. There are lots of compliances. Maybe, we can have a detailed discussion on law later. Because of paucity of time, I just like to say 100% regulated, 100% compliant, and regulation also evolves, right? So that's how we look at entering the Indian market. Thank you.
And what kind of market you're targeting right now, the global audience or the Indian audience? Because most of the investors are from India. If we talk about the crypto regulation, and recently Union bill was passed, so still there is no clarity on that. But India is an emerging market for VDA assets. Still government is working, and very soon we can think about that. What is the point on that? And how do you want to request the government through this platform that we, as a people from the blockchain side, we are requesting to get compliance and get a regulation for the crypto assets or digital assets?
So what I personally feel is that to answer your first part of the question first, we are a global platform. For me, the whole one the whole world is like, filled of humans, right? Vasudeva Kutumbakam. So law of the land will be followed. We've got, a very, very, how do I say, like a centralized legal team. Then we've got decentralized legal team based out in individual countries. And they are in coordination with the regulator for the same. So, like I mentioned, 100% centralized, 100% regulated. And the regulators also need to move fast, right? Or we'll just be left chasing the West again.
One more question, last question. Like, how do you frame DZ Maya that it can be lead the banking ecosystem, financial ecosystem of India for virtual digital asset? What kind of product features you are integrating for the common person who want to make a trade for the digital asset in a fully compliant environment? So what is the roadmap for next year?
This is a pertinent question, so I'd like to give this some time. So essentially what we're doing is we are building a fintech super application.
Yes.
We all say in India that India is great at technology. Indians are great at technology, working for foreign companies.
We are leading a service sector.
If we talk about service sector also, pardon my statement here, some people may take offense to it, but the biggest companies in technology in India are just doing body shopping. If you look at, for example, Infosys, taking money at $1 rate, giving the same task to an Indian at $1 rate. There's no B2C-centric product that is unique to India that is right now winning the global market, right? If you look at the B2C products, Zomatos, Olas, all of them, they are cut, copy, paste models from the West again. Where is that India-centric company that is working globally? Where is that Facebook from India that is working globally, right? So that is a major gap that if we really want to conquer the world, with our intelligence, then we need to have the conviction behind that. And for that, we are building a digital asset super application in new age finance. So we already have our first product that's live. We have, a crowdfunding platform that's licensed overseas. Apart from that, we also have a loyalty points application, which is essentially people do tasks. They play a small tap game, and they earn various points. And then these points can be reimbursed from digital exchanges around the world from our digital stock. It can be swapped directly. So it's time value for money-based ecosystem. Then we are launching our digital asset exchange in Q2 this year. We're going to be pivoting it into a digital bank as well next year. Then we have a lot of AI-based subscription programs, auto tax calculator. We've got a watch, learn, and earn gamified model of Madam Maya, who's our mascot. So essentially, a lot of people over here, I suppose, are to know what's happening in AI. We're not here for the food. We're not here for the other inconveniences because of a large, crowd here. So just imagine this. You watch a 3-minute video of a 39-year-old lady called Madam Maya, where she's speaking with her colleagues, she's speaking with her boss, she's speaking with her 19-year-old son, and you watch that 3-minute video and you learn about AI, you learn about trading, you learn about digital assets. And that is the kind of ecosystem we are now developing in our platform as well. So essentially, I would invite you guys to go to www.digimaya.com. That's DIGIMAAYA.com. And have a look. Also, feel free to Google me. My name is right here. Thank you for your time, and that'll be all. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you, Garima, and thank you, Utsav ji. Great information you have given. Now we will have just last 15 minutes for our panel. I'll like to request the panel moderator, Professor Akhil Damodran, Director of Symbiosis, Pune, and please come. And our panelist will be Anurag Agarwal, Founder and CEO, Data Block Technologies, Mr. Kamlesh Nagware, Co-Founder of FSV Labs, and Mr. Neeraj Gupta, who is an international technologist. So they should join us on this. And I think we can, Dr. Parveen, you can basically step down.
With a nice keynote speak on the main topic of AI ecosystem and how blockchain is going to be a major foundation of the infrastructure. With this in premise, I think everybody has understood about it. Let me start the panel discussion. With Mr. Anurasa. So if you look at the current AI's initiative, and if you look at the blockchain perspective, if you look at blockchain has been here for more than 6 to 7 years now. it is a post-COVID when the discussion actually happened and all those things. And now the AI is coming in the picture. But I think if you look at it from the institutional point of view, the deployment of AI or deployment of blockchain for that matter, as an infrastructure for that matter, is still slow. The kind of the degree at which the AI has developed, blockchain is still in the nascent stage, right? So what are the policy hurdles which you feel is one of the ecosystem hurdles, which I think is the reason why these things are happening, and I think what can be done to remove it?
Well, thank you, Dr. Akhil. It's great pleasure to be here. I would just take a step back, right? We all know that AI systems are only as good as the quality of data they are fed. Now, blockchain is not something which can prove if data is right or wrong, whether it is fair or biased. Blockchain can only prove if data has been tampered with or whether it has been changed. AI and blockchain serve two different purposes. Like AI is used for predictions, it is used for decisions. On the other hand, we have blockchain, which is, we all know that it is used for establishing trust between different parties who don't trust each other. Now, AI is everywhere. It is touching people's lives. We have banks who are using AI systems to disburse loans. We have government institutions who are using AI systems to give welfare schemes, to give subsidies. And hospitals are using blockchain systems to basically do diagnosis of patients. But the thing is that AI can make mistakes. The models are probabilistic, bias happens, data gets changed. So the question which comes is that when AI make mistakes, what after that? Now, when we have AI system touching people's lives, people don't want explanations, they want evidence. And this is where a very narrow trust layer of blockchain comes into picture. We are storing the input data which is being fed to train the AI models on a blockchain. When I say storing the training data, I don't mean the raw data which is being stored on blockchain. It's only the fingerprints of the data which is getting stored on blockchain. It might be the timestamps, it might be the hashes, it might be the references of that particular data. So that in future, if anything goes wrong, we have the verification, we have the complete auditability of the entire data, that which particular model was used, what was the data was used, and instead of going back and forth, we are able to convince the people that whether your application, to take an example, was rejected or not, it was because of this purpose. Now, coming to your question that AI has made great strides, but maybe blockchain hasn't done that. See, blockchain really burst. We have been working on blockchain for years now. But to be honest, it burst into picture only when OpenAI released its model around 3 years back. After that, everyone started talking about like artificial intelligence. The thing about blockchain is that it runs all in the background. So we don't have anything to show to the people that, it doesn't have a UI, UX kind of a thing, right? It runs at the database layer level, at the distributed level. So we don't have anything to show to the people that how is blockchain running. That is one of the core constraints which I think, as you mentioned, that artificial intelligence getting traction or maybe blockchain is not getting that traction.
Let me go to the same issue. You think is there policy hurdles which can be enabled enough so that the blockchain or AI can be implemented much faster?
Yes, but there should be policy framework also, because blockchain and AI itself is a very kind of technology. You can say it's a new technology. So basically, policy and compliance is not still clear. We are talking about responsible AI, but a lot of work to be done. Even if you talk about security aspect of AI, then there's no proper framework in India. If we talk about Indian market, there's no proper framework where we can talk about that AI is secure. So that's why for blockchain also, we are using the financial ecosystem. Still, security and compliance is a big issue in India. So I think we have to work on that more.
Thank you. Kamlesh, you are being in this industry for last 10 years, and you have seen ups and downs in blockchain industry. And also you have seen that AI is much going faster. I think what is your perspective in terms of why there's a slowness in terms of blockchain adoption, even today, if you look at it. And AI is something which if you look at it, it's throttled to be accepted across in the world. I mean, what may be the reason behind it? Yeah.
So I think blockchain is almost a decade, right? And it all started with crypto, and then it was a boom on that time, like everyone putting the blockchain in every use case. But until if the blockchain is not giving ROI in the what is it desired to be, then it will lose the traction. But I'm not saying it is not gaining the momentum and adoption. There is a momentum and there are adoption where use cases are implemented but is not talked about. You can talk about DG Yatra, you can talk about CBDC, RBI, you can talk about National Blockchain Framework across the world, right? So adoption is there, but technology is not for the use case. Actually, it should solve some purpose, and that is happening with the blockchain nowadays. And in terms of AI, because AI is all about, AI is not just 5-year-old. It is almost 30-40-year-old technology. With the chat GPT, we come in so much momentum and all this thing is happening. But even when I did my engineering, and that time I studied the artificial intelligence, right? So it's not just only 5-year or 3-year journey of the AI adoption. It's almost a 2-3 decades, and we are here. Same maybe blockchain will take time. It will become a fundamental and trust layer for everything, not just for the digital system or the government system. It could be even very, very meaningful for the trust layer for the AI agents and for AI economy as well. That's why we will see lots of talk about trusted and safe AI. We talk about responsible AI. And there are many projects, let's say MIT Nanda from Professor Askar in MIT University. There are a couple of productivity forums, let's say Bharat AI Responsible Forum, Center for Responsible AI from IIT Madras, and many such initiatives going on to building on a trust layer for the responsible AI. And responsible AI is not just only how the AI should behave. Even it's all about reporting or recording its actions. It is a decision, governance, and identity is one of the main layer for building the trust and safe AI in the responsible ecosystem.
Thanks, Dr. Shams. Sir, over to you. I mean, you are a technology expert for many years. I mean, what is your view in terms of how the AI is progressing? And being blockchain is one of the most trusted infrastructure, we still see a lot of lacking. So what is your opinion on that?
My knowledge of blockchain is rather limited to interactions with Dr. Gupta. But, you know, one thing I'm hearing here is AI is also reaching many limitations. Accuracy of the data is a huge challenge. The power consumption by GPUs is, becoming a global challenge. So, we have to learn how to make use of the other technologies like blockchain. It's not very nice to hear that for years of existence, they have not been able to make use of it to bring in trust factor. Another technology which is now evolving is quantum computing, which also brings, very accurate data, which takes probability calculations, probabilistic decision making, and your, decision making becomes stronger and stronger. There's a lot of fear in the atmosphere. What will happen to our IT career? What will happen? Is a huge new, technology paradigm that is coming in. And I don't know, we must quickly exploit it. And the technology is very much there. It can be simulated, GPUs can be used. So ultimately, QPU, quantum processing unit, will also coexist with your traditional CPU, NPU, and GPU. We have to just learn how to make all these technologies symbiotic. They should derive the maximum out of each other. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. I think this is a great panel factors we have understood. So with this, I think let me conclude the panel. Thank you so much for all the speakers here. And over to Satya, sir.
Oh, thank you, Professor Akhil. You have done a great job, and I'm very sorry to the panelists that we could not get more time for them. Unfortunately, we started late, but I'm really thankful to all of you for this. Now, actually, as you know, we are running out of time. I like to offer some gratitude on behalf of our university, South Asian University, to all our panelist speakers and also some of our eminent guests, if I request Mr. Ramran, if you can also join, Dr. Marotra and Mr. Khare, the Director General of Telecom. I see him in audience, Mr. Khare. So if you can also join us here on the panel, and also Dr. Parveen, all the speakers here, please come here, and our university want to facilitate all of you, though we are running out of time, but we'll do the honors actually. Can you arrange the moment?